Hi, everyone, and good Tuesday to you. It's also the 12th day of November and the first snowfall, not of the year, but you know what I mean, of the season at least, with many more to come. Pretty much, I think, on par for the timing such. We have seen snow, of course, earlier than this and later than this for the first time of the fall and winter season. We've also seen days just like today hit 80 degrees in eastern Kentucky. A couple of things of interest there in your weather forecast when I get to that in just a few moments. First, you may notice behind me that it's not dark outside, an obvious indicator as to myself having a couple of meetings out of county in the latter afternoon hours, so I don't think it's really hard to figure out that it's certainly not nighttime at 6 o'clock as of yet. And still a few lingering flakes to be seen out there on the cameras overlooking, of course, downtown Sagersville from the studios. Been a nice little snowfall. Of course, classes called off today. No word on any closings as of yet, as it is still, of course, very early in the afternoon, my time. Several headlines tonight will include some more details, precise details on exactly how authorities say the crash happened that claimed the lives of two local men who were laid to rest during services earlier today or following funeral services earlier today. We'll bring those to you just in a few moments. A few arrests to pass along to you and a host of other news and information. A couple of things not on the local level before we get there. I have to say this, if you've ever worked in the service industry where tips are a big part of your pay or income, or for example, if you've ever stood in the streets, maybe taking up donations, as a lot of organizations do, you understand how that works for a worthy cause, then you probably understand and you probably give a little to those who are doing so if you've ever done it. You might be a big tipper or at least a generous tipper to some degree, and of course that would also include standing in the streets and taking up donations. And I've often said that they need to, for folks like me who rarely have anything other than a debit card, need to take to electronic means of taking up funds. The Salvation Army has jumped on board with that, and they are now accepting Apple Pay and Google Pay at more than 25,000 of their red kettles all across the United States, as they say that most Americans are now just not carrying as much cash and don't make as much shopping purchases with cash as they do credit or debit cards. So they're going to have smart chips and QR codes at those red kettle donation sites, and you'll literally be able to tap your phone and go. You'll be able to select the donation should you desire to do so, and that donation will automatically be designated to whatever zip code is associated with that particular donation location. So it goes to the respective area. And another sign of the times, if you will, in the opposite direction. Can you believe that 40%, I thought this was interesting, in the past several years, since 1975, the amount of milk that's consumed by Americans has fell more than 40%. They cite that being the reports out by the Associated Press today that I came across, a lot of reasons. Tea becoming more popular, sodas, juices, almonds, soy milk, other alternatives. I also want to throw in, even though the report doesn't, low carb diets, which of course milk is not a part of, as being a factor, just throwing that out there. But Dean Foods, the largest milk processor in the entire nation, has officially filed bankruptcy today, citing what they call a steep, decades-long drop-off in United States milk drinking, blamed on the before mentioned reasons. They said they're going to try to sell the company off to the Dairy Farmers of America, which is a cooperative of marketing individuals and companies owned by thousands of farmers. They say they have tried for many years now to try to stabilize their company and were unable to do so, and they say that this is just something they're going to have to do to try to keep that company continuing on in some degree. They say that all those problems that I just mentioned have hit dairy farms and milk sellers very hard, leading some smaller family farmers to quit the business already. But just another sign of the times. A Johnson County father and son led authorities with the state police on a pursuit. It started in a motor vehicle, lasted for about a mile or two, and then it resulted of both people jumping out of the truck, bailing on foot. The son and driver arrested after resisting and going into a creek. The father not to be found. At around 11:20 last night on Route 40 in Johnson County, The Kentucky State Police says that they observed a white Ford Ranger traveling westbound in the Tomahawk area near the intersection of Rock House. The trooper actually met the vehicle in oncoming traffic and observed that there was one tail light out and the rear license plate wasn't illuminated. And he turned around and tried to make a traffic stop on the vehicle, but the operator refused to stop. He initially gave a turn signal and then did not turn and continued on to Route 40. As the officer continued to follow the vehicle, it accelerated and turned up Wooten Road. Finally, the vehicle went about 1.5 miles up Wooten Road, and then that's where the road got bad. The operator lost control of the truck and then ran the vehicle off the road, and then the operator and the passenger both bailed out and then ran on foot. The officer was able to catch up with the driver, identified as Carl David Daniels Jr. of Tomahawk, and after he kept resisting and the two ended up in waist-deep water as a result of the foot pursuit, Daniels was taken into custody, still resisting, with Daniels telling the officer that the passenger in his vehicle had actually been his father, Carl Daniels Sr. However, Sr. was not located anywhere at that time on or around the scene. The officer then searched the vehicle, found a total of 4 hypodermic syringes inside a handbag on the dashboard, a pipe with some residue, a small piece of plastic bag containing what was believed to be methamphetamine. There was also a hypodermic needle found on Daniels' person in his coat pocket. He also admitted having no insurance or registration on the vehicle and not having a valid driver's license, citing those as the reasons for the police pursuit. No word on the father's whereabouts as to whether or not he has been charged or is facing any charges or has been arrested to date. I'll be right back. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by. For huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
Right now, for pennies on the dollar, a huge selection of like-new laptop computers, a fresh stock of video games, the Cadillac of dog tracking and training systems, new hunting rifles, accessories, and ammo. And they always stock, buy, sell, and pawn gold and silver coins and jewelry with a new selection just in at Parkway Gun and Pawn in Sagersville, 349 Pawn. Only some limited details, but a woman traveling through Sagersville arrested on importing heroin and outstanding warrants after being stopped for swerving or crossing both lanes of travel as she traveled through Sagersville night before last. The Sagersville Police Department cites the ongoing investigation as for the reason of limited details, but a woman identified as 27-year-old Rebecca Beecraft was coming through Magoffin County in Sagersville last night when Officer Mike Nichols of the Sagersville PD witnessed the vehicle driving erratically, essentially crossing from one lane to the other. He initiated a traffic stop here in Sayersville, and lying on the floorboard or in the floorboard and in plain view, he says, was a significant or large quantity of heroin. A thorough search of the vehicle also turned up scales, a number of baggies, syringes or needles, straws used to snort or take the drug, and other items, all of which were confiscated, of course, hence the beginning of the investigation at that point, which still continues. She was lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center thus far on account of importing heroin, reckless driving, and having no insurance, as once again authorities stress the investigation does go on. Authorities with the Tennessee Highway Patrol have released some information from their preliminary investigation, giving us some more detail about how the crash happened that claimed the lives of 2 local men as they were on a construction site work zone in Tennessee days ago. Those same 2 men laid to rest, of course, earlier today. I'll share those with you in just a few seconds. Let's go on over real quickly to tonight's community calendar. I've got one just in that's just not on the screen as of yet. Let me read it. North Magoffin Elementary's Site-Based Council will meet in a regular meeting tomorrow, 4:30. No, they will not. That's what happens when you don't proof things and read things before. The regular meeting set for tomorrow has been canceled. It was set for tomorrow at 4:30. So North Magoffin Site-Based Council meeting has been canceled for tomorrow and will be reset at a later date. Here's the rest of the correct community calendar for tonight, brought to you by Magoffin Farm Bureau. It is tomorrow, and it's a praise and worship event for the youth in our area, and it's going to be at the practice gym in the high school at Morgan County with live music, testimonies, devotional, and the first 50 kids get a free t-shirt, free food, free admission. A Field of Faith praise and worship event for Kentucky's youth. Of course, this was going to be outside on the football field, but with the weather, they have updated it, and they're going to move it into the practice gymnasium in the high school tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And everyone at Morgan County High School and the Morgan County schools hope that you will join them. This is an invitation to any and all youth who can hear my voice tomorrow evening at 6 in the Morgan County High School in the gymnasium. Don't forget, Teleworks USA has a job fair set for tomorrow at the Health Department. 2 sessions, 9 to noon, 1 till 3. You need to pre-register. If you haven't done so, you can get one more chance. 606-216-6811. And get ready, because whether you really, well, we know you're going to like it. It's just how quick do you want it to get here? Nevertheless, the Sayersville Hometown Christmas has been set. The theme this year, Celebrate Christmas with Family. And again, they're pleading with all businesses and residents in Sayersville to decorate your windows outside your business or your home. There's going to be a decorating contest for both. They're going to judge the week of December the 2nd through the 6th. The winners announced during the opening ceremony on Saturday the 7th, which is, of course, the same date as the parade. And here's the quick list of events for that Saturday. At 4 o'clock, kids and moms and dads and adults, you can take pictures with Elsa, from Frozen, obviously, at the Magoffin County Historical Cabins. They're also going to have caroling and refreshments at the City Park across from City Hall starting at 5. The tree lighting ceremony at 5:30. The parade will begin at 6, and December the 7th will be here before you know it. They hope everyone gets in the little extra holiday cheer and participates as much as time will allow. With that said, we hope you use our community calendar for announcements just like these anytime you have one. And birthdays and anniversaries are included too. I do have one funeral service announcement. It's in honor of 61-year-old Jeannie Bailey of Oil Springs. She passed away on today's date. Arrangements, I am told, are still being made at this hour, but to be announced soon by the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Jeannie Bailey, 61, of Oil Springs. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sayersville. 349-8785.
my blog. Be sure to leave a comment. Black Friday sales are going to be huge this year.
Adults and their phones.
It's going to be a low-carb meal.
All right! Hand them over. In the basket.
Appalachian Wireless always wants you to get the most out of your phones, but we also encourage you to set them down and enjoy time with your loved ones. Happy Thanksgiving from your friends at Appalachian Wireless.
You're going to absolutely fall in love with all the new arrivals at the seasonal shop, from all the autumn colors and styles in ladies' designs, shoes and accessories, Charlie Page, Mud Pie, you know the name brands, to jewelry, Simply Southern, Natural Life, caps, cups, and more, to rooms of home decor. And all you'll need to decorate for the fall and Halloween seasons, plus everything from coffees to candles, but hurry, because everything Christmas is already arriving daily and will be out soon, and fall will be gone before you know it. At Frazier's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Salyersville. We have finally done it. After years and years of extensive testing, we not only invented the chicken sandwich, we have perfected the chicken sandwich. Come and try it and love it with a big, famous dipped breast strip, pickles and mayonnaise, or however you like it fixed. And if you like, make it a double. Just make your way to Lee's to get it, and grab a cookie while you're there. At your Salyersville Lee's famous recipe, where even our ice is famous. The families and friends and co-workers of Jared Helton and Justin Stafford of Magoffin and Johnson counties, respectively, said their final goodbyes today during respective services for the two local men. As they do, we now have some more details which have come out from the Tennessee Highway Patrol in regards to how the crash happened. They've also released the identity of the man behind the wheel of that semi-tractor trailer that we confirmed to you late last week was indeed stolen. As I was able to report late last week, the semi at the center of this investigation and the deaths of two local men had been reported stolen. After I reported that to you on Friday, we later obtained a press release from the Penske company itself that confirmed that that semi involved in that crash was not being driven or operated by the Penske company, confirming they are a truck rental company and that a commercial trucking company had rented that truck from them, and that it was Penske's understanding that their customer reported that truck stolen to authorities some time prior, with authorities saying this was still completely a preventable situation, and now releasing some more details as to exactly how the crash happened. Still confirming that the Tennessee Department of Transportation told authorities that contractors were working in a mobile work zone within a lane closure, the purpose to replace the markers along the interstate, with state police behind them to warn the oncoming traffic that they were there, giving motorists the opportunity to slow down. But they say that the driver of the semi did not slow down, did not move over, and continued to plow through this work zone. That driver, now identified as a 61-year-old man, Mervyn Krigler. His address not listed. The trooper's name that was injured, also identified as 34-year-old LeJulian Roy. According to the preliminary crash description, Krigler was driving west on I-40 in lane 2 when he came into the construction zone. He struck the back of the stationary equipment truck in the work zone, sending it off the road and over the embankment. Then the tractor trailer continued forward and hit the back of the trooper's car, causing him to strike Justin Stafford, who was standing on I-40, and another truck at the scene before the trooper's car hit the guardrail and went over the embankment. Then the tractor trailer continued moving forward and struck another truck on the scene, left the roadway, and then struck Jared Helton as he stood along the shoulder of the roadway, the semi then going over the embankment itself, finally coming to a stop. As for criminal charges, none have been filed or reported at this time. Authorities still stress it's an ongoing investigation and that right now they're also awaiting toxicology test reports. Lastly, let's take a look then, now, and tomorrow, weather-wise, talking about what has been on today's date, what we have had on today's date, and what we expect to see for the rest of your forecast. This was the update, of course, my time earlier this afternoon, as there were still some light to moderate, more light snow showers moving southeasterly across eastern Kentucky. Some light snow accumulations. If you look outside on the grassy areas, on the top of parked automobiles, you've seen the snow, and it made for a lovely little sight this morning on November the 12th. I meant to do a little comparison, and I just didn't have the time to kind of see our first snowfall over the last couple of years. This feels a little earlier than last year. I'll get to that later on. It feels a lot earlier than last year. We'll take a check and see. But nevertheless, those snow showers are dwindling and leaving, and once they do, we've got two things. A lot of cold air and a lot of sun in store. 4 days. In fact, we're going to see record or at least near record temperatures tonight. The Jackson Weather Service says right now, eastern Kentucky, the viewing area looks to be around 14, 15 degrees. And for some, that will break some records tonight. So bundle up. The forecast for tonight over the course of the past 72 hours, it has gone down steadily each and every 24 hours. And now we're down into the mid-teens, I should say. Not low, but mid-teens for tonight, with another cold one tomorrow. But like I said, some sunshine to go a long way in warming us up. Now, just a little food for thought. Today could have just as very easily been a day in the 80s, because back on this date in 1989, the National Weather Service in Jackson set a new record of 73 degrees. Corbin, London had 72 degrees, and some folks in the eastern part of the United States were getting in on the 80s as well. So you just never know. But here's what we know about your Licking Valley RECC outlook. Like I said, mid-teens on the dot tonight. Partly cloudy skies after showers are out of here. Snow showers, of course. 15, partly cloudy, a light wind. Tomorrow we will get back to the 30s and then the 40s thereafter. 38 right now expected for your Wednesday. Sunny. We'll see increasing clouds tomorrow night. Don't expect them to produce anything. No more precipitation at all in the forecast. Thursday, 47, 26, your high and low, partly sunny skies, more sunshine. For the end of the work week, 47 and 25. And a little good news thereafter. Speaking of your weekend, Saturday's still in the mid-40s, mind you, at 45, but still mostly sunny. No precipitation, clear skies that night. Saturday night, I think we'll stay in the upper 20s. But Sunday is the first day of a 50-degree run. Sunday, partly sunny, 54. 34 that night, mostly cloudy. Monday, I think we see mostly cloudy skies in the 50s again. That might be the onset of some slight shower chances later on Monday and into your Tuesday. Right now, they're looking very slight. But as we start to get out of the 20s tomorrow, we'll see the 30s tomorrow, the 40s Thursday, Friday, the 50s Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then maybe with that warmer pattern, we'll get back to potentially a wet one. And we hope to have you back with us tomorrow night, not only where I will be talking about the latest local news and headlines, but where at this time I'll also be telling you about what's coming out in the next edition of the Sagersville Independent. Thank you for watching, and have a good Tuesday.